Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to another episode of the Long Ash Podcast. I'm Chris, and I'm here with Andy. You guys are familiar with Andy. He was on our top 25 episodes last year. I brought you on for an episode last year as well. Or was it the beginning of this year? I don't remember. Kind of just introducing you and like what you know, kind of like your job and it was your other position you were doing. And we were just chatting about that. And then I know I've mentioned a few times, last summer we went on a really awesome tour in Brooklyn for the magazine. Yeah, it was pretty cool. So. Yeah,
they shouldn't have let us go alone. Like,
maybe together. I feel like because like Nick and Warren were kind of like, yeah, I'm back home by 6. I'm like, yeah, we're kind of just getting started around that. Like that's what it was pretty fun.
I think we visited more breweries than them, but we definitely visited more bars.
Yeah.
And on the in-between than them.
Yes. Yeah, they went to 2 breweries separate. There was no bars on the way. I guess the location was perfect for us because we started in Jersey City. And
right, we weren't even supposed to go to the Departed Souls.
No.
I was just like, this is how bad it was, is I was just like, hey, there's a brewery on the way. You want to stop?
I was like, sure.
Yeah.
And the brewery and the theme was awesome. And then we made our way to Brooklyn eventually. But it was a really good time. But I appreciate you coming on again today. We're going to kind of do a brand overview of Trinidad Espiritu line. I'm not sure if you guys out there have smoked it, have tried it. If you have a favorite one, please leave it in the comments which one you like. So I know you said you smoked a lot of the second one, right?
Yeah, the number 2.
The number 2?
The number 2 was kind of my go-to for quite a while. I got a funny story about it, too. I'll tell you later.
Okay. All right. Yeah. When we get to it, I want to hear it. So, yeah, we have the Trinidad Espiritu number 1, 2, and then the third one came out late last year, around October of last year. So I just wanted to kind of do, like I said, a quick brand overview. And we don't know where this episode's going to go, especially when it's you and I on here.
Like the bar crawl?
Yeah.
I mean the work event. The work event, not bar crawl.
Hey, listen, I'm gonna say this. I think we got some pretty damn good photos and content out of it. The article, I think we got a good job out of it, and it was a lot. We got to go to Brooklyn Brewery. Like I've never been.
We went to Brooklyn Brewery. The other one, 902.
I forgot what it was. I forgot the name.
The other one. It's like one of those popular niche ones, but it was right next to Domino Park on the East River. It was gorgeous.
It was a gorgeous view, and yeah, when I walked in, I was like, this doesn't give me a brewery vibe at all. It gives me like a coffee shop vibe.
Really, it gave me like this is overpriced Williamsburg vibe.
Yeah.
But it wasn't overpriced, and the people were actually really great.
They were very nice.
Yeah,
they were very, very nice, and they gave us. They definitely gave me a beer to film. They didn't charge me for. And I remember when we were shooting it, I was like, damn, it's not. It's like the beer, the head on the beer is not doing it. And Libby just went in the beer. And I was like, holy crap. And I've kind of stolen that trick from her ever since then when I have to photograph beer. She's like, yeah, it's just years of bartending. I'm like, how many bartenders do that?
Did you figure? I'm going to ask her that when I get home.
I'm like, years of like what? And but she was a trip.
I don't know if you caught this, but when we were out on the East River taking the photos and stuff like that, there's that park right next to it. I think it's like Domino Park, or all the ones in New York are Domino Park.
Yeah.
Like you got the pictures, and then you like walked back just as the police were walking down there, and they were popping all the people for drinking outside of the brewery. They weren't giving them tickets, but they were telling them to leave.
Oh no, I must have missed that for sure. Thank God. I mean, you were helping me hold the beer. Like you both of you were helping me out. It was a great time.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, like I said, we got some pretty good stuff out of that. So have you smoked the first one? You've tried all 3, or is that your first? Okay.
No, I've tried all 3.
Awesome.
Number 1, I mean, you guys know how tough I am on cigars. Like I like all 3 of them. It's an interesting kind of variety that's it kind of hits if you're like medium bodied to like really full bodied. It's like right in the wheelhouse. It's made by AJ. All the cigars have great flavor. It's just kind of like, what's your mood? Because like the number 1 is medium-ish. You know, it's medium. I don't know what's the wrapper on it.
It's a Nicaraguan Puro. It says.
Okay.
So it is very, and I usually get Puros for me are very spicy. It doesn't have that to me. It's not that spicy. I feel like, I don't know if you were going to say this. This is a good like afternoon cigar in the summer with a beer. Like that's where I think it is the most mellow and medium bodied out of all three.
Yeah, it kind of has like a nutty flavor. It's got a little bit of strength, so you know you're actually smoking something. It's, complexity, I don't know, like on the scale of 1 to 150, I probably should use a scale of 1 to 10.
So 5.
5, right?
Just take a 0 out.
It's a great, like, it is a solid cigar.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and I think when it came out in 2019, I kept reading on it. They said, the messaging behind it was like you want kind of like to harken back to Cuba in the 60s, like what they made in the 60s and 70s, specifically like what AJ Fernandez was trying to achieve with this. And it definitely has that harken back feel, especially with the like the box and the band to me. That feels very like I think they were saying Caribbean style. So I think the look of it is I've never had like because I've seen it online, like Caribbean style cigars. Maybe you could, if you know of any. I've never really came across any, but this is smoother than obviously these two. But I don't know which one's my favorite. I think like you, I've smoked this one the most.
Yeah.
Because I think that one, we'll get to in a bit, but that one really packs a punch in my opinion.
Yeah, and the number one, I mean, kind of, what you're getting at, just to add to it, is like, I can see where AJ's like, hey, I want to make this like Caribbean style, which I think just means Cuban.
Yeah.
It's marketing for Cuban without saying it.
Yeah.
Maybe a blend of Cuban and Dominican, because there's kind of maybe slight notes of actual like Cubanish flavors, but it definitely has Nicaraguan strength and body to it. It's good. I mean, I don't know if it's right or not, but I thought it was like a Habano wrapper or something similar, and it has those flavors. It's a solid cigar.
Yeah. It says it has a citrusy zest to it. I've yet to kind of pinpoint out that flavor note in cigars, but I'm wondering if you get that flavor profile or flavor note when you're having like a tropical drink with it, a beer. I wonder if that kind of
Presidente. Come on, let's be real.
Yeah.
Presidente is the beer.
Yeah, that is true.
I mean, okay. So I also worked in the wine industry for a long time. Kind of a parallel with cigars, right? And the funniest thing, and this made me really think, is you go to the wine stores and they have like the tasting notes on the bottles where it's like, some guy whose tongue has mutant taste buds on it, that can taste like it's like a dog smelling every single ingredient in a chili. And it said that like it was like I think it was a New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc, which if you're a wine person, you'll find this hilarious. And it kind of makes sense. But they said that, like, it has, like, flavors of pear and citrus with the aftertaste of bubblegum dust. And I was like, hold on, what? Like, if you take the gum out of the wrapper
and the dust,
throw away the gum and just lick the dust off the wrapper, that's what he said. It had finishing notes.
Very interesting note, like flavor note to even. I don't even know how he came up with that.
Yeah,
like like you said, your sense of your palate must just be crazy or just really developed.
You just think real hard about it. You think real hard. No, and I get it. Like whenever you do tastings and stuff, it's like when you're casually smoking a cigar. Like I do. I really only casually smoke cigars. I don't do the in-depth tastings and stuff like that. There's a range of 5 or 6 flavors. If you ever see the cigar flavor wheels, those are fantastic for figuring out what you're picking up on. But this guy I used to work with, he would always do. the way that he put it, and it made total sense to me, is you have basically like a primary layer of flavors, and that's basically when you're casually smoking, that's what you get, right? And then you have the secondary layers, which is where you got to think a little bit harder and be a little inventive.
Yeah.
So if you read the Half Wheel articles, that's what they do. They really think about the dominant flavors and kind of like secondary flavors. And it's cool to put pen to paper because I can tell you one cigar is good versus the other. I can tell you they both like have like a leathery taste to it. But beyond that, you have to put the secondary layers in it to try and express what you're actually tasting. Otherwise, you're just like, good cigar.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
no, you have to add, like you said, you have to add layers to it. And I think the more, like you said, you have your primary flavor notes and secondary flavor notes. And I think when you get into the secondary, for me, I feel like it helps newer cigar smokers or just like people who've been smoking for a few years kind of help like if you like this flavor profile, like if you like roasted nuts, coffee, leather, where they say white pepper or sweet spice, when you start getting into those, then you're like, all right, well, there's other cigar I really enjoyed had those elements, so maybe I'll try that now instead of just kind of saying it tastes like chocolate or it tastes like this. Like when you start getting into the
Right.
nitty gritty of it, I think that helps. That kind of helps you, like you mentioned, a flavor wheel that will help you determine, okay, these are the flavors I really like, and then you'll be able to notice, okay, these cigars are saying that it has X, Y, and Z. I'll try that. I think that really does help out newer cigar smokers, like trying to figure out what they want to smoke so they can develop. And I said a few episodes ago, because someone asked, I did like a Q&A episode, and someone's like, how do you choose a cigar you want to try for the first time without trying, or like, what's a cigar you want to buy without trying like hundreds of them, right? Or like, how do you know you could pick a box of cigars, whatever? And I was like, for me, I determine what just what I like in general with everything else. Wine, do I like red or white wine? If I like a red wine, do I like it sweeter? Do I like it drier? What kind of, do I have a sweet tooth? What kind of beer do I like? Do I gravitate towards porters? Do I gravitate towards pilsners? So I think having kind of that sense of, what you like outside of cigars will help you also determine what you want to smoke.
Yeah. So that same guy that was talking to me about secondary. So what he would do, he would start off and go, what kind of food do you like? Do you like, do you like light food? Do you like heavy food? Do you like stews? Do you like spicy foods? And he would go about it that way, which I thought was interesting because it's like, whenever I was working in humidors before that one, I never really did his thing. But he's a great guy. But, for me, it would be like, okay, like how new are you to smoking cigars? Do you smoke cigarettes? Have you ever smoked cigarettes? Okay, like what sort of flavors do you think you would like? And you kind of whittle it down. The problem is you actually have to smoke a cigar so then we can compare to what you tried. And what I found out working in stores is it's like 9 times out of 10, if you recommend, it doesn't matter who it is, they could never smoke before anything. If you recommend them a mild to medium plus, depending on how they answer those couple questions, and it's a good cigar, they'll like it.
Yeah.
Like a good cigar is a good cigar, which, no, that's not Freud. That's sometimes a cigar is a cigar. But getting back to like flavor notes, because it's like, it's something that more experienced cigar smokers kind of throw to the wayside. They're like, it's a good cigar, blah, 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 blah. But it's also like, when you smoke a cigar, it's actually an experience, right? Like, I can smoke the same cigar, you could smoke the same cigar. We're going to have slightly different experiences for a multitude of reasons. And that's where these additional flavored notes can really kind of help you pin it down.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's perfectly said because your palate's a lot different than mine. So we're going to have the different experience, which I think is awesome about cigars is,
Yeah.
I know, people have said you get a box of cigars, you might not get the same experience smoking like, 2 cigars from the same box. Every cigar might be different. But it's interesting enough, like where we are, they're doing test blends or we get like singles from someone and like, we're smoking them in the meetings or whatever. And everyone's like, yeah, it's either hit me really well or it's like perfect with my morning cup of coffee.
Yeah.
So I think that's just very interesting and a very, I wouldn't say underrated part of it, but I think it's not discussed a lot and how deep cigar smoking can go, not like a philosophical, like, oh, how deep it is, but like, just like it's like you said, I think it's a perfect thing. You said it's an experience. And I think sometimes people will take that for granted. They're like, oh, I just want to try it. But when you're trying it, like, determines on what you're doing while you're trying it.
And it's also like, what's the setting, right?
Yep.
Like, where are you? What are you doing? How many drinks have you had?
Yeah.
Like,
do you smoke a lot of cigars like outside of work?
I smoke it with buddies.
Yeah. You'll go to lounges, will you go to a park, their house, or
I mean, now
is it all different?
Now that I'm in Jersey City, I don't have a yard or anything.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was in Houston and I had a house, I mean, we had a giant porch.
Yeah, you were saying.
Like 18 feet wide. It was one of those big bungalow houses. It was amazing. And I'd smoke cigars all the time there.
Yeah.
And my favorite was smoking cigars and doing yard work. It was my absolute favorite.
Everyone says that.
Like, you crack open, you don't do good beer. You
Yeah.
do like Coors Banquet because it's 110 degrees. You're smoking a cigar and you're on your ninth beer.
Or champagne of beer, the Miller High Life. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was now it's mostly with friends. We sit out on the stoop, smoke cigars, or we'll have like a barbecue at another friend's house, or kind of like that. There's one little cigar shop in Jersey City. It's very small. I also have a weird, because I'm in e-commerce, and a lot of the retail and e-commerce are two different sides of the business. Sometimes if you tell them that you work in e-commerce, the shops will get upset or whatnot. Most of them don't care, but some of them, have kind of, oh, you did what the other day? You're stealing my business and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, look, it's two separate sides of the same business.
Two separate things,
like, Now, funny enough, I don't smoke there often, but I do buy cigars there.
Nice.
Because they carry, man, they have for how small that store is, they have an amazing selection of like good stuff. Like good stuff.
Like what? If you can you name?
I'm a huge Tatuaje fanboy, and they have all of them.
Dude, I see maybe the Tatuaje Black Label in cigar shops when I go. Other than that, I don't see much of their line.
I want to say they still had some of the Drac there, which is like, I think a couple years old at this point.
Yeah. And I'm surprised it's still in stock, because people are always going for those, that line or cigars under the Monster series. People are always like, I feel like they sell it like that.
Yeah, and he may have bought a bunch of them. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of times I've had several drinks with friends as we're leaving bars and going home, and I'm like, let's swing by, because it's on the way home.
Yeah.
And it's a great shop though. I love shopping there. I just don't like hanging out there.
Gotcha.
So.
No, that makes sense.
So back to Trinidad.
Yes.
I
think what you said earlier, this is a good, like, they're all medium to, like, extremely medium to extremely full.
Yeah.
I feel like for me, this one is full-bodied, extremely, like, the color of the wrapper. I think
the
it's
number two. The Brazilian.
Yeah, the number 2. The Brazilian wrapper is extremely dark. And for me, still, I still think I'm a newbie with cigars, because I've only been in the industry 6 years. So dark cigars do kind of like, there's like a cause for pause there for me with a little bit. I'm kind of like, because I've had the Jacob's Ladder Brimstone without any warning, and that really kind of put me on my ass a little bit.
Yeah.
This one I was a little like, all right, I got to make sure I have my coffee with me or some water. I don't know about you. I mean, heat index to you is nothing where you come from, because you come from Texas.
Dude, I'm fully acclimated now.
So
it was 89 degrees, and I was like, I hate this heat.
Oh, dude. Okay, all right. Because I was going to say,
acclimated.
I can't smoke a cigar outside when it's like really hot out. I just get overheated.
Yeah.
Even when I'm smoking in here, if a cigar is too full bodied, I'm sweating. So it was the perfect setting for it, and it was it was delicious, dude. I really enjoyed it. I love how the theme of all of these. I am a sucker for that. I think this is really cool because this is 100% like a Brazilian flair with the box and the band. Let me pull one out.
The packaging, I mean, the packaging overall is I like a lot, especially whenever it's like on the shelf, right? Like at the retail space. It really does draw attention to it, which, good for the brand managers for figuring that out.
Yes. Yeah, shout out. Yeah. So I will say, when I first started in 2019, someone told me, I won't out them, but someone told me you might see some inconsistencies with just branding in general when it comes to some companies, some bigger companies, smaller companies. One of the guys said, the person who told me that, one of them said Trinidad kind of got always like back in the day, like you didn't really know what their messaging and branding was. With these three in particular, the last 5 years, I think there's a clear message, and I don't know if that has to deal with like AJ and Rafa Nadal coming in or what, but I think I really am enjoying. Yeah, I'm enjoying this series so far.
I think the brand team did a fantastic job because. I worked in retail locations for 15 years ish. Yep. But my favorite thing, and oh my God, I did it so often, is people would come in and they'd be like, "Hey, I'm looking for the cigar I had," and I'm like, "Oh, like what was it? Tell me about it." And they're like, "Oh, it had a red band," and I was like, "Oh my God, did it have gold lettering?" And they're like, "Yeah." I was like, "Did it say like, was it 1875 or was it 17?" And they're like. It was it was just like that. I'm like, is it kind of in an oval? And they're like, yeah. And, in my head, I'm just having fun with the people. Yeah. And of course I do help them eventually figure it out. But it's like, when you look at, what could I have just described? Romeo, Partagas, like,
Yeah, what for
maybe
me,
just those two, but it's pretty funny.
What is that one? Nick says it's like
but Cuban
the Grand Habano. Yeah. Yeah, but how many cigar...
Yeah, Grand Habano, too, is red with gold.
But how many cigar bands do have red, are prominently red? And like
this
you
one,
said, red, gold, white, and they're like... That only narrows it down. Like,
if somebody came in and they were like, it was a really colorful band, like maybe had a... obviously, you look at it, and there's some sort of tropical vibe, Caribbean vibe, just right off the bat. And you could tell me that. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, it's probably Trinidad, like the Espiritu. Yeah. So... Funny story on the number 2, and this goes with your point earlier about it being a strong cigar, is when I was working at the CDM in Houston, Dave was my buddy's name, who did the layers of flavoring and the food stuff. Dave, great dude. There was a guy who came in, and I hadn't been working there very long. So, as the air quote new guy there, you have to kind of earn your keep with the regulars. And we had a strong group of regulars. And it was a pretty wide group. But
was this your first job in the cigar business? Or because didn't you say, I don't mean to do
No.
I thought you worked at, correct me if I'm wrong, I thought you worked at like a humidor at the wine place. Was that, or were you did you manage that cigar humidor at the wine shop, or?
I started off, it was like, I needed a college job, right?
Yeah.
So I went to the local liquor store chain in Houston, which is called Specs, got hired as a cashier, and the manager was like, hey, he does really well. I want to put him in the deli. And my buddy Abel, Abel still works there. Also, thank you, Abel, for changing my life. I tell him this all the time. Abel's like, he smokes cigarettes. Put him in the humidor. And she was like, oh, okay, cool. Put him in the humidor. So I went to the humidor. It was a total wreck. It was just disorganized and everything. So I fixed the humidor. And then the guy who's basically over premium cigars came by, saw it, loved it. This was in 2004. Was like, hey, we got a trip to Rocky's place next year, which was a few months away. He's like, I want you to go with us. It was like, all right. So did that, went and visited Rocky as soon as like the Edge had just come out. In general, Edge just came out. Went to Rocky's place, and then from there, I just started working humidors, and then I started doing regional, working the humidors. and then got into buying for the company and then opening new stores. And then, but I was always all but like the last 4 or 5 years there, I was always stationed at a humidor.
Okay.
Most of it was at the downtown store, which, customers come in, and I would work the humidor, help people pick out stuff, talk to people, and because you got to talk to people. They're the best. They're the best people to talk to, cigar people. So yeah, that's like actually how. And then,
so when you got to CDM, you were really well versed, but they still wanted to like new guy. They wanted a new guy.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, they didn't know who I was. There was a couple people who I knew from the downtown store, and I left Specs because I had been there for 15 years, and it was COVID, and I was teaching. I was an adjunct professor, and I was like, everybody's quitting their jobs. I'm going to quit and just be a teacher. And the teaching was from home, and they changed it to where you just upload the videos and then provide support to the students. I was going to say customers, to the students. And so I'm sitting here like, oh my God, I already had the videos made. I was like, I just upload them and sit back and get paid? I was like, yes, everybody's doing crazy stuff. It's my time.
Yep.
So February of 21, 2 days before class start, I get a text and it's like, hey, we had to give your classes to a tenured professor. You don't have any classes. So I woke up unemployed 2 days before I was supposed to start school and needed a job. CDM was hiring. Went over there, basically got hired on. Kenny got me a job there. So that's how I ended up there. And then, the position up here became available, and that's how I ended up here. But yeah, so like people are like, oh, what's up, new guy? And I'm like, oh, come on, guys. Like, I'm not new. So this one guy came in, and I forget his name now. I can see his face plain as day, and we became really good friends. But he like walked in. He's like, well, who are you? And I'm like,
a regular, right?
A regular,
saying? Yeah, okay.
A regular. And I'm like, I was like, I'm the new guy, obviously. And he's like, man, you got one chance to impress me. And I was like, okay.
Oh, God.
I was like, what's your stick, man? What's your stick? He's like, I want a strong cigar. I want it to just punch. I want it to be so strong, but it can't just be strength. It's got to be flavor. Blah 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 blah. And this is like, I think right when the number 2 came out.
Yeah,
and I was smoking.
Came out in
bunch.
2021. Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Yep.
My story lines up. So I was like, all right, dude. I was like, here, smoke this. He's like, if I don't like it, I'm coming back here. And I'm like, all right. And he smoked it, and he came back, and he's like, my God, that was a good cigar. And we were buddies ever since.
That's great. Did it knock him on his ass, or
no? He loves crazy strong cigars.
Does he? Okay.
Yeah. So I wouldn't. I mean, it's not brimstone level, but it's knocking right behind it.
No, I agree.
And it's got the flavor too behind it. It's full pepper bomb, kind of some leather notes to it, kind of some chocolate notes, but it's predominantly pepper and kind of earthy.
Yeah, let me just hold it up for the camera to see, so you can see the band. It really has that Brazil theme with it. I remember even like going back to the branding of it. They had like certain accessories for it. They had like a soccer ball with the colors on it. I was like, that would make a killing over in Brazil in general. Like just a box with the accessories.
Yeah. Too bad for Cuban trademarks, right?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, shucks. But no, this is I never want to deter new cigar smokers away from trying any cigars. I would just say, if you want to try this, and if you're relatively new to smoking, just if it feels strong, don't feel the need to power through. I try to tell that to a lot of people. Whether you've been smoking for a while or you just started smoking, you don't have to power through.
Eat something.
Yeah.
Have something to drink. Something with some sugar in it, not just water. Something with a little bit of sugar to kind of help calm the nicotine.
I do coffee and Dr. Pepper.
I can do coffee in the morning. If I have a coffee in the evening, I'm like,
really? Yeah.
It does not work.
Bobby was making fun of me the other day. I'm drinking coffee now, and it's when we're recording it, it's 4:30. He's like, "How are you not jittery?" I was like, "I'm just always exhausted, so it doesn't." I think right now it's the flavor for me, and it doesn't. my morning coffee does its job. I think everything else after lunch, that will do my job. Having one now is probably not the smartest idea. That's probably why I do stay up later.
Is it a K-cup or an espresso?
A K-cup.
Oh,
I don't do espresso.
Espressos get you going.
Yeah, I don't do those,
too
man.
much.
I'm scared. Yeah, I've seen people with them, and they're like ready to go. And I'm like, okay, I guess they gotta get ready for a meeting or something.
They're like, oh, it helps me focus, and you're like, you're picking up dirt off the ground now. Like, what are you doing? Stop doing that.
You followed me from my desk to the coffee machine.
Like, stop talking.
Not really focusing there. But no, this one I would say it's for the smokers who do enjoy more full-bodied cigars, who have been smoking for a while. But like Andy said,
don't be afraid of it. Just know what you're getting into.
Yep.
And it's not. It is balanced. It's for sure. It's very strong, but it is very well balanced.
Yeah, I would say that's. Yeah, man. I got nothing else after that. I don't want to. Like, that was perfect. I really do. Yeah, because I think when you do, for me, like I said, I haven't smoked a brimstone in a minute. That was not, for me, I didn't feel like that balanced. And it was nothing against them. Maybe I was taking my time smoking it, because I would smoke, sit it down. It's when I was working up here, writing and doing stuff. So I wasn't like kind of consistently smoking like I'm doing with the Spirit number 1 right now. So maybe I would let it sit more, and it would just kind of hit me in waves. Right.
Yeah.
But to me, it wasn't balanced. But like I said, I haven't smoked that cigar probably in a solid 3 years, and I know my palate has developed, since then. So I wouldn't mind trying it again. But I always tend to go to one of these three, like these two specifically. I would like to smoke that more. The third one. What are you thinking of the third one so far?
So the third one, it's actually a really nice follow-up to the other two. Because it's like whereas the number 1 is kind of medium-ish, maybe a little medium plus. It may not be a Habano wrapper. I'm sorry, guys, if I keep calling it Habano, but it kind of has that feel to it, right? And then the number 2 is full-bodied, Brazilian wrapper, spicy. It's everything that you expect from it. The number 3 with the San Andreas wrapper is like the number 2 light.
Yep.
It's medium plus. It's medium to full. Medium full. Is that how you do it? Do we do the numbers 1 through 100? It's a 75. What is that? Is that just a 7.5?
Yeah, just 7.5.
Okay.
I like 75 better. 75 sounds stronger.
But it's to me, and I haven't smoked a lot of the number 3. I've smoked probably a handful. To me, it's almost like a more refined number 2. The flavors, there's less pepper to it. There's more leather. Mostly, to me, it's more leather predominant. Mm-hmm. That's kind of what I get. That's what you get from my first layer 1 or 2 note.
And it's interesting because all of them have, if I'm not mistaken, this has a Nicaraguan binder and filler, and I think this one has a Nicaraguan binder and filler, but also tobacco from Brazil in the binder part of it. So you're able to, like, the common theme here is that they are predominantly using Nicaraguan tobacco. So whether you're feeling that, whether all 3 of them have the leathery note or the spice, like I said, Nicaraguan tobacco to me, like Nicaraguan puros are always have that kick for me. So what Andy just said, like, it's like, refined from number 2 in terms of just switching out the wrapper, but still utilizing Nicaraguan tobaccos in it. It's just that shows you the difference of, 2 different wrappers grown in 2 different regions, right? And I don't know. I know people love Mexican San Andreas wrappers. Yeah. They are, to me, they're up there with Connecticut broadleaf in terms of how often they are used on cigars.
Well, it's the fad right now.
Yeah.
The fad is Mexican San Andreas. I mean, for good reason. It's great cigars, but it's kind of funny though. Like I guess I've been doing this a while. It's like whenever I got started, it was like the end of the Cameroon phase.
Okay.
Because like in the 90s, everything was Cameroon.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah. Smoke like any Fuente.
Yep.
Fuente got big in the 90s. It's all Cameroon. And then it's like you switch into like the 2000s, and it was like Habano was the new thing. And then I'm sure there was something in the 2010s, and then in the 2020s, it's kind of San Andreas, which I mean, it's great. It's I'm curious to what the next thing is going to be.
That is interesting that you've been in the industry for that long, to where you can see certain trends. I guess I just see different trends for really kind of like solely like what's in my tunnel vision in terms of like what's online, social media, things, being filmed a certain way. I haven't really seen a lot of video reviews anymore. I don't know if that has to be kind of cracked down, with the YouTube cracking down on cigar content. So I don't know if that's kind of being kind of pushed out. Obviously there's written reviews everywhere, but video reviews I haven't seen a lot of.
We're crossing our legs the same way. They're going to notice we're wearing the same shoes.
They are. Andy made that discovery before he filmed.
There we go.
Try to go this way. Yeah. Put the paper. Here, can you green screen over my shoes, Tyler? No. But no, it is interesting that you're able to kind of see certain trends, whether you are noticing them or whether you're paying a lot of attention to them or not.
It's also like one thing that I noticed, and it kind of bothers me these days. It doesn't bother me, but it's just different. Is like whenever I was working in the liquor store chain, it was like, I'm having contact with customers, right? So I'm seeing what people are buying, what they're liking. I'm talking to people and all that. I go to CDM, same thing, probably even more diverse, because people are more inclined to pick up the boutiques and smoke what you point at and then gladly turn around and tell you did a terrible job, or new guy's all right.
Yeah.
That was kind of thing. But now, now that it's kind of us at the office, I don't have those broad conversations with a wide group of people. So it becomes harder to, unless I see it in data, I don't really know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I can see, we're doing fantastic with foundation, and it's like, that's great. I wish I was at a store, so where people could tell me what else is really good that maybe isn't on my radar. Because when I was at CDM, I didn't know anything about foundation at all.
Yeah, no, you make a good point, because I feel like when we're at work here, we are in our bubble per se of like what we like to enjoy, what we like to smoke. But I feel like there are certain things out there that it's not that you're missing. It's just like I went to a cigar shop in Staten Island. I think it was like the winter of 24. And it was a really cool spot. I pass by it all the time. I walk in and I'm seeing what I expected to see. A lot of Rocky, Camacho, Monte Cristo, and some Foundation actually. But I did say like, hey, I was just curious. I was like, do you guys carry any Crown Heads? No, never heard of them. And for someone who's maybe because like Nick and I are always, talking with John Huber, and people here love Crown Head, people here do enjoy Crown Heads. It was just kind of interesting to see, you're, in my mind, I'm like, you're in the cigar industry and you don't know, but it's also just, it's okay if they don't know, because they might just be like, listen, Camacho might sell better, or they have a better relationship with Camacho, or anything like that, right? So every shop is different in terms of like who their people are, who they stick with, things of that nature.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting to see that, like you said, when you worked at CDM, you never heard of, you said you didn't hear of Foundation, right? Or there was...
I had known Foundation, but it was like before they like launched, Olmec and the whatever. Now I can't see it, and people are going to be like, new guy, and I'm going to be like, I'm not new, I swear. I just can't think with all the bright lights in my face. High Clare Castle, that's where I was going with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
New guy.
But it's also like one of the things that I want to do, and I haven't done this. I need to talk to Frank. But one of the things I would love to do, because we do sell across the nation, is like look at location specific, because I guarantee you Crown Heads around the Tennessee area is we probably sell more there than California, right? And then where are the hot spots for Foundation? Where are the hot spots for My Father? Like, because there is, I know, considering my old company was in Texas, there's stuff in Texas that does extremely well that, for us as an overall company doesn't quite hit the mark.
Yeah.
Granted, that's on a scale, but, I would love to see that. I bet manufacturers would love to see that too.
That would be interesting to dive into, because, and maybe the reason as to why these certain brands do great. The example you used with Crown Heads around Tennessee, that's an obvious one, because Crown Heads is based out of there. But why is it not doing, why is it? I'm just using this as an example. I don't want people to, think my word's gospel. But if Crown Heads doesn't do that successful in the Northeast, on the East Coast, or if it does well on the West Coast, finding that stuff out would be really interesting to see. And then I think that way you can kind of target like customers who are really into specific brands for, deals on those or anything like that. I think that would be really interesting.
I mean, one of the other things is, we're different because we're, JR is a catalog company. We kind of fit outside of the normal model.
Yeah.
My old company was a key account. It kind of fit outside the normal model. But whenever you look at, reps, right, representatives from different companies, it can sometimes be a make or break on the rep that you have, right?
Yeah.
So, like, if you're launching a brand, and I've seen it before, where a company, new company, they got a rep coming through, you buy in on it. It doesn't sell. The rep wants to boost sales. You tell the rep what to do. Eyes glaze over. 6 weeks later, it's the same story. 6 weeks later, it's the same story. And it's like, guys, if you want your brand to sell in your area, you got to go out there and sell your brand. Like, I've seen I think it was Heath from Rocky come through one of the CDM stores. It's just boxes flying out the door. That doesn't happen unless somebody shows up.
Exactly.
So, those weak spots for brand representatives could, really make or break people in an area.
Yeah.
We used to have a brokerage. This is fascinating. There's a group of people named Polar in Texas, right?
Yeah.
This is awesome. It's my favorite family ever. The dad was the Fuente rep for I think all of South US or something like that. Awesome dude. Like one of my favorite people that I've ever met in the business. Well, he had like 5 or 6 sons, all in the cigar business, and they're all like brokerage reps, right? So they take multiple vendors on as a rep. So they're almost like independent contractors. So it's like you got like Tom and PJ, and it's this whole family of cigar reps, and it's like that's and they are awesome people.
That is interesting. You never to follow in your dad's footsteps, all 6 of you, right? Like, and then it's all different. Different.
And you could just see the pride in that dad's eyes too.
Yeah,
it was so good.
Because that's a different side. That's a different side of the cigar business. I'm not really aware of. You know?
So a lot of the smaller companies will do that, where it's like they're basically giving this person a commission. For the good or bad, this group of reps they're great people. But you could get into another bad position where you sign a contract with a broker, say, for the Northeast or whatever, and you have a year-long contract, and that guy goes out and sells 1 box to every place, but then just never visits again because he got his commission. There's a lot of weird stuff whenever it gets into regional manufacturers. And
that is weird.
Regional performance for manufacturers.
No, that's like I said, that's a side of the business I have no idea about. But, man, I appreciate you coming on. I won't keep you any longer. Thank you for coming on.
Is it? Oh, wow, it is that time.
Yeah.
How does this happen every time?
It happens to everyone. I guess I hope we're having a good time. I had a great time with you. kind of revisiting some stories we talked about when you first came on, and then talking about the Espiritu line.
Well, now I think I've been on here like 3 or 4 times, so I'm no longer the new guy.
Yeah, no. You've been on.
I'm a new guy complex.
I think is this your 5th episode? This might be your 5th episode.
All right.
Because how many top 25 videos were you on?
I was only on 1.
Oh, okay. So you were on 1. You and I did 1, and then you and Nick did 1 while I was out. So this is your 4th. So you're no longer the new guy.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, you were no longer the new guy.
Something like that. We should do more roundtables. I almost started off this whole thing, and I started giggling at the beginning because you said something, and then you said something about the top 25, and I wanted to be like, what was the Christmas movie? Do you remember? It was like the oh God, what was it? It was like stripper claws or
yes, yeah.
I almost did that.
Yes,
and I was like,
you
don't
should
ruin
have.
the
No, you
intro.
should have.
Don't ruin
All
the
right.
intro.
No. All right, I'm gonna peel back the curtain a little bit to end this episode. When we did our top 25 last year, somehow we got into the things our wives make us watch. Right? I was the idiot who said, "Yeah, my wife wanted me to watch this." Basically, Stripper Claws on Netflix with Chad Michael Murray. I said it at the beginning
Sexy
of the episode.
Santa?
Yeah, Sexy Santa.
There's something like
at
that.
the beginning of the episode. I said it every time I talked. Andy worked in stripper Santa or Santa stripper into the conversation. I was like, I bit my.
That was the top 25, right?
Yeah, that was the top 25.
Yeah.
Because you guys were like, yeah, no, my wife made me watch like The Notebook and like typical rom-com movies, not like a Hallmark movie with like a star from 30 years ago, like he's a stripper and like your wife's just sitting there and you and Nick and Warren just were, yeah.
The funny thing is I think I picked that because I go through all the Hollywood or all the Christmas I go through B-movie everything, by the way. And I think I picked that for me and my wife to watch, and we got like halfway or something, and I was like, I don't know about this.
That's what it was. Yeah, you were like halfway. I was like,
and you were like, I finished it.
And you were like, why? And I'm like, I don't have an answer for you. And then that was it. Yeah, that was great.
Go back and watch that episode.
Yeah, please.
It is pretty hilarious.
It was a lot of fun. Like you said, we should do more roundtables. Those were, even if it's not top 25, those are always fun to do. But I do appreciate you coming on again today, man.
Thanks for
Thank you.
having me.
And thank you guys for watching. We hope you enjoyed the, I would say, informative episode on the Trinidad Espiritu series. Please go check. I would advise you to try one of each. See which one you like. If you have smoked them, please in the comments let us know which one's your favorite. But until next time, this is the Long Ash Podcast.